we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Scotty Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise to survive, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the woman's in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Coach and Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Alcigari. Yeah.
Alrighty. We are ready to rock. We are ready to roll. Welcome aboard. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Time to have some fun on the show. That's what we will do for the next few hours. Hope you all are doing well. We're out here at beautiful VSS West Pines. Yeah, come on out. Join us. We'll be out here for a few hours. 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines. Come visit the boys. We will be out here for several hours having some fun. We would love to see you. I know we're not going to see a little bit of college football this year because we saw where the Pac-12 joined the Big Ten in turning in their cards and saying, we're done with fall football. We'll plan for the spring. And the spring, by the way, is kind of silly. You're not going to have 2 seasons in one. You can get players to play because I saw the draft guys. Well, you know, these guys aren't going to play. Yeah, the first 2 round guys aren't going to play. But guys that are after round 3 and up, they want to improve their stock. So they got a shot at playing. They would play. Now, is it abusive to have 2 seasons in 1 year? Yes. It's actually in less than a calendar year you would be doing it. That would not be smart for the players, for the sport. It definitely would not be a good thing. But it's now, you know, they were talking about how maybe the conferences would get together and do it as in a uniform fashion, and that has not happened. You know, the MAC did it, the SWAC did it. Now it's the Big Ten, now it's the Pac-12, ACC and Big 12 and SEC. They say they're moving forward. Okay, now we still have several weeks to go. You know that 1,504 Americans died yesterday, right? Right? I mean, you know our priorities are screwed up in this world when there's more reaction, there's more disgust out of canceling football seasons than there is 168,000 dead Americans to COVID-19. And the worst part about all of this, it's not the virus. It's not that people are dying. It's that we get used to people dying and that we don't care that people are dying and that it becomes second nature and it's part of the day. You're just lucky it's not you. I mean, really, that's kind of the impression I'm getting, that we care more about college football being canceled. And, you know, all these, I feel so bad for the players. Do you feel bad for the 168,000 families that have been affected by all the death? I'm wondering. Do you feel bad for the people that lost their careers, that lost their jobs, that lost their businesses? I'm just wondering. Oh, these poor kids, they work all their lives. And yeah, everybody works all their lives. Everybody's, suffering setbacks. I mean, give me a break, dude. Let's not make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world. I love football, okay? I don't want college football to be canceled. I don't want the NFL to be canceled. Look, I just went through 4 months of no sports and having to do a sports show with no sports. Okay, you know how hard that is to talk sports when there isn't any sports going on? And we do it every single day during the pandemic. You think I want to go back to that? Hell no. But for months now, I've been telling you college football ain't going to happen. Not because I want it that way. It's because it's a pandemic. And I love these college coaches, right? They're so full of crap. They don't have all the students in campus yet. The parties aren't going on, and they're not actually hitting each other. Because I love all these. Well, we've had our students on campus for a couple of weeks now, and we've had no positives. Yeah? Are you hitting in practice, dude? No. So there's no contact. Oh, okay. Okay, so, all right. Are all the students on campus? Are the parties going on? No. Are you traveling? No. Oh, I see. You've got a kind of controlled environment, so now you're not having positive tests, and you think you can control this. A pandemic. You think you can control it. All right, let's hear from Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was, obviously Chip Kelly with UCLA, right? And he obviously lost out on his season with UCLA, right? Here's Chip Kelly. He was asked about the cancellation of the season and how they go forward and his adjustment to all of this. Go ahead, Bill, please.
Coach, it's an election year. You have a vote, and the candidates were proceed with caution, postpone, or other. Which one did you vote for?
I think I voted for other, where there's a lot of uncertainty, and we're trying to figure out, do you have the right information? Our North Star that will guide us is the health and safety of the student athlete, and I think that's the decision that they ended up making.
Where are you on the argument that college football players are better in a structured college football environment as opposed to see you sometime in 2021?
I agree that they're better while they're on our campus. We have not had a positive test since July 7th, but I'm not sure when students come back on campus and if someone does have the virus, if our sport is something you should be playing. But I think in the environment, which is really bubble-esque, so to speak, our players have been good. And I know listening to other coaches around the country, their players have been good. That's why this is a tough pill to swallow.
What do you do now in terms of coaching staff, and team?
There's a lot of unknowns, and I think we're working through that right now from a scheduling standpoint. This was all thrown upon us, today. So we really need some guidance from the NCAA of what we're allowed to do.
What's your opinion on spring football? Should that become an option?
I think it's something that has to be looked into. I do not know if you can play a season in the spring of 21 and then come back and play in the fall of 21. Again, this was all kind of thrown at us today, so we have to kind of look it through and see where everybody is and how that can affect you. But I think it's intriguing, but the health and safety of the players has to be the determining factor of whether it can be pulled off or not.
And look, in a pandemic, it's going to be near impossible. Okay? I mean, we'll get to the Cleveland Indians situation, and that'll show you where we're at right now in this world. And it's weird how the MAC, right, and the whatever that other conference, Mountain West Conference, yeah, Mountain West Conference, they end up being the responsible ones here because they're the ones that actually said, they looked at it and they looked at the medical side of it and that whole enlarged heart thing. They don't want to deal with that. And I don't know if you guys caught the Arizona State president, but he was pretty blunt about it. It was pretty good because he goes, we have students that say they'll sign a waiver. He goes, but that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to take care of the health and welfare of our students. How would it set an example for us that we want to go out and play football and make the money and we don't care because we got our waiver? So whatever happens health-wise to that player, we're covered. How could we actually carry on that way? I thought that was incredibly responsible. I thought that was human. I just thought that was like, yeah, exactly. Because, somebody else, well, make them sign a waiver. Okay, but again, we're back to the I'm selfish. I want my entertainment. Screw you. Whatever happens to you, I don't care. Hey, you sign your waiver, too bad. And if he gets a heart condition, well, that's his problem. I don't care. I'm moving on to the next guy they recruit and the next guy they recruit because that's what fans do. You don't care. And I thought that was awesome because that's your job, okay? On the pro level, you have a collective bargaining agreement. You are a grown-ass man at that point. Now you can make your own decisions, and they're letting them. We have agreed. Anybody else that wants to opt out and doesn't want part of this agreement can opt out, and that's it. And nothing's held against you. But if you're in a university atmosphere, you cannot sacrifice your players because that's what you're doing. Now, that's what they're doing in the ACC, in the SEC, and the Big 12. Because while this is going on, the Pac-12 and the Big 10 actually did the responsible thing that you're supposed to do if you really care about your students. There is so much unknown that you cannot go into anything responsibly when it's all unknown. And I love the people, well, why don't you just take a chance? Do it. See if it works. And then what happens if somebody ends up developing problems? What happens if you kill a coach? What happens if a couple of kids develop an enlarged heart? So if it's only a couple, it's all right as long as football can continue, because that's kind of what we're doing in life. We got to continue, and hey, 168,000 people dead, so what? As long as it's not me, as long as it's not my family, I'm all right. We can move on. There is more disgust in us losing football than losing Americans. It's really weird, man, because it's not like I don't know how many of you sat back yesterday and saw that number that it skyrocketed to 1,504 Americans dead yesterday. I'm not sure how many of you actually sat back and it's like, wow. Yeah, the weekends, the Saturdays and Sundays were getting down to the 300s and the 400s. Then they started climbing back up to the 500s now. And now instead of the Saturdays and Sundays, there's Sundays and Mondays now are the low days instead of Saturday and Sunday. Now Tuesday through Saturday, the numbers skyrocket. Saturday didn't reach 1,000. It was at 900 and something. But every other day was well over 1,200. And yesterday we went over 1,500. We had 5,000 something cases in Florida. We have 8,000 today. But no, you go ahead and listen to DeSantis. You just keep letting them feed you. Oh no, well we've got for months now he's been saying that there's been positive numbers. Oh well, we've got this trend going, and this is and it's like, are you watching? It gets worse and worse, dude. The death rate is going up. So the Pac-10 and the Big 10. The Pac-12 and the Big 10 did what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to cancel the season You're not supposed to make your players sign waivers and sacrifice them so you can make your money. You've been doing enough of that for 100 years. You can lay off a year. But listen, if the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 want to look greedy, irresponsible, and despicable, they can continue. Let them go ahead. And if parents want to be dumb enough to allow their sons to actually play a game that's impossible to play in a pandemic, then go ahead. You can't listen to coaches and you can't listen to players. They don't have any logic. They're really, they're like cavemen. They are. I mean, watch Jim Harbaugh. If that's not a caveman, I've never seen one in my life. Jim Harbaugh belongs in a Geico commercial. Okay? It's just these Neanderthal coaches that all they do is eat, live, and breathe football. And they don't care about anything else. And it's almost, that's why they work 20 hours a day and never see their families. Because all they care about is football. I remember I had Roy Cummings on. He's been on our show a ton of times. He's been covering the Bucs for like 30 years. So he tells us a story about John Gruden. And Gruden's there, and he goes, yeah, it's one of my son's birthday. And so there's three of them standing about 20 yards away. So one of the reporters says, which son? He goes, the middle one. Like, he didn't even know his son's names, it's just like, it's just one of those deals. It's just, they live a life that is, there's very few of those guys that are actually really grounded. You know what I mean? That they actually understand and have some sense of humanity. You know what it's
priorities are screwed up in their life.
Totally. And then you have the football Neanderthal that really doesn't care about the kid. They just want the sport to play on. Who cares? If the kid blows out his knee, they'll get the next guy. That's it. If he gets arrested, they move on. If he goes to the draft, they move on. They don't care. That's the interesting part. A ton of those people that follow the SEC in the South and live and eat and breathe that like religion, it's not because they care about the players. They just care about the sport. They don't care what happens to any of these players. And clearly they don't care about 168,000 dead Americans. I mean, it really is amazing to me. And to watch all of this go on, and then to hear the ACC and the SEC, and the Big 12, we're moving forward. Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. Let the ignorance continue. I mean, the baseball can't control the coronavirus, and they have no contact. Unless, of course, you've got a baseball coach instigating fights. We'll get to that one, too. Wow. Now, flip side to this story, Nebraska. I got to ask, who the hell does Nebraska think they are? I'm just wondering. Cornhusker country. Who the hell are you guys? You guys are a middle-of-the-run team in college football. You mean nothing. You are nothing, okay? All you are is history of college football. That's all. I got to tell you something. If I'm the Big Ten, I am getting all of the presidents together, and I'm finding a way to kick Nebraska's ass out of the conference. They made $53 million in TV money. And these guys, look, man, the conference voted it, okay? I get it. Iowa and Nebraska voted against. They wanted to play. I get it. But you're part of a conference. Show some class and back up your president, the conference commissioner, and every other president that voted It's a democratic process. You lost. The others won. Your job is to support. That's it. And you're also Nebraska. Okay, Nebraska. I got to mention it. You're a nobody. You're not sexy. Nobody cares about Nebraska outside of the people in Nebraska. All the fans of the Cornhuskers, all they're doing is praying for the day that they become relevant again. And maybe when you become relevant, you can actually have a say. But at the moment, Nebraska, it's good that you actually, your name, your school starts with an N because you are a nobody. That's what they should do. They should change it to the Nobody Cornhuskers. Okay? You guys can live in the past, and let's talk about Tom Osborne and Lawrence Phillips dragging women down with their weaves down multiple stairs and floors and all that. Yeah, let's go talk about the old days of the Cornhuskers when they were relevant, when they actually won something. What, when Irving Fryer was there? Oops, I dropped it. Okay, I get it, Nebraska. I understand. Okay, you might be pissed, you might be frustrated, and maybe you're old and you think you're relevant. Or maybe you're a young Nebraska fan and you actually know you're irrelevant. But if you're Nebraska, I got to say this, shut the hell up. Take the money and be grateful that the Big Ten doesn't kick your ass out of the conference. Okay? Be grateful that they don't kick your ass out of the conference. And be grateful I'm not the commissioner of the Big Ten, because I would be kicking your ass out of the conference. Okay? Again, Nebraska, you're nobodies. You're scrubs. You haven't done anything in college football in forever. You're not relevant. So just take the handout from the Big Ten. You know, since you don't produce anyway, nobody wants to see Nebraska football. Nobody outside the state of Nebraska. And I like the hire of Scott Frost. Okay? I think he actually could end up turning that program around. But I have to talk about what you are now and what you have been as of the last 10, 15 years. You're nobodies. You're scrubs. Okay? You have no say in anything. You're not Alabama. You're not LSU. You're not even Georgia. You're not even those choking dogs. Oh, I'm sorry, Bulldogs or choking dogs? Which one is it? I'm not exactly sure with Georgia. Might be both, right? They have a bulldog and they choke. It's something like that. But anyway, Nebraska, shut the hell up. 786-322-1105 is the text number. That's 786-322-1105. That's the text number if you want to get in. Nebraska. Give me a break, dude. My Lord. Wow. That is just amazing.
What do they actually think they're going to do?
I don't know, bro.
You know?
I have no idea. Ian from Brooklyn, by the way, was number one today, chiming in on the chat board. Omar Lopez put one. He thought he was one, but he was actually two. But that's all right, Omar. You're strong always. Julius 305 is in. The birthday girl, Alexa V, is back. It was her birthday yesterday. But
let me be the first to wish you a happy belated birthday.
There you go. There you go. Happy 24-hour after birthday. Man of 1,005 holes says, yo. Julius 305 says, steaks good. Raging Dolphin Maniac, happy hump day. That's right. Ray Grulong, howdy, Orlando, everybody. NorCal says, don't scare people, not telling you what to do, though. LOL. Mark McIntyre, good day, gentlemen. David Pridham says, SEC largely based in red states. they may try to play. Oh, no, they're going to try to play. The greed is big in the SEC. It's all about greed in the SEC. There's no doubt about that. You know they're going to try to play. They're as ignorant as it gets. That's why the South is full of a bunch of states that are hotspots, because they're ignorant as hell. And we're included. Ian from Brooklyn, DJ Gallagher, John Rouse, update from the CDC says don't wear face masks with valves or vents. They are not very effective. That's the statement from Football Americans Health, said DJ Gallagher. What else do we have? Ray Grulon says dumb Santis, the worst he is. Flipside Fishing. What else do we have here? Tremolio is in. Weapons X United already chiming in with a super chat. He says, Big O, take it easy. Take it easy on those Nebraska bums. Laughing my ass out loud. LOL, LOL. Thank you, Weapons X United, my brother. Appreciate you.
You know what's another one I heard this morning? Either New Mexico State, University of New Mexico, whatever. That team wants to play, and they want people to come. The only problem is the state has a mandate that you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So you show up, you got to hang out for 2 weeks. Now we get to play football.
Right.
Who's going to do that?
Yeah, nobody's going to do that. Why? Because everybody else is trying to be responsible, and everybody else that wants to just make money doesn't care. Ronald says, good afternoon, Big O and Bill. The simple problem is we have piss-poor leadership in our country. We have too many selfish, self-absorbed, and ignorant people in this country. Amen? Amen. Amen. Let's see. No, what is this? No mom on the belt, or what is that? I don't know what that name is, but you put eggs and bacon. I don't know what that means either, but I had to give you some love. Jamie Shannon has a lot of Z's. I think Jamie Shannon wants to sleep, or we're putting them to sleep. Jamie, night. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105. I can't show you the video, but if you have a chance to see the video, which is a feature we should add soon to this show where I can actually, maybe split the screen and show a video. I got to figure out a way to do that kind of stuff. But did you guys see Urban Meyer getting interviewed about college football and the cancellation of the Big Ten and all that? Did you see that interview?
No, I did not catch Mr. Meyer.
So he's obviously on a, some kind of webcam, laptop, whatever, because that's what everybody does in order to do an interview nowadays, right? So he's there, right? And then there's a mirror behind him. So it's showing him, and then the mirror, and then whoever is in front of him, it'll come out. So the door opens, that's in front of Urban, and some guy comes in, and he's shirtless. So he's just standing there in the middle of the shot while Urban's talking. It looks like you've got a naked guy there with him, And again, hey, nothing wrong with that. If that's your deal, that's fine. I don't think you want to do it out in public like that. If that's it, or if that's just a friend, or if that was a sauna, or if that was a changing room, or I don't know what the hell it was. But in the middle of the interview, you see Urban go, it's awesome. You got to see it, because Urban's losing his mind, because he sees, it must be that he sees on the picture that it's showing, the camera is showing the mirror, which is then showing the reflection of the naked guy that's in front of him. And maybe he's not naked, he's probably just shirtless. But that's all you see is a shirtless dude. And you're like, Urban, where are you doing an interview that a guy that's shirtless is hanging out with you there? And then the best part is, have you guys ever seen Live Free or Die Hard or something like that? The one of the computer, the guy from the Mac computer that he hacks, and they're all chasing him, trying to kill him, and Susie Q is in it or something, whatever Q, the Asian girl. It's kind of cute. You know what I'm talking about? You know that Live Free, Die Hard.
It's
the one that they kidnap his daughter and he has to save her at the end and all that stuff. Well, anyway, during that whole thing, they go to the guy from the Clerks, his house. I forgot the guy's name from the Clerks, but the movie The Clerks, the guy that wrote the Silent J and Bob, whatever. What's the name of that guy? You know who I'm talking about, the fat guy with the beard. So
into comic books.
Yeah, he's into comic books. So anyway, you know that scene where Oliphant is trying to, they're going back and forth on the TV, and Bruce Willis kind of puts his hand on the speaker of the TV, and he tells the guy, the fat guy, hey, can you track where he's at? And he says, hey, just so you'll know, by putting your hand on the speaker, it doesn't really turn it off, that kind of stuff. So it's like Urban is like, get away. And he thinks we're not seeing him tell the naked guy that, hey, get out of the picture. Kevin Smith, thank you. Thank you. Dirty Mike Dominguez, Sergio Romero, Troy Ortiz, man of 1,005 holds. Thank you.
Hey, Urban, the damage has been done, buddy.
Oh, that is awesome. I mean, it is a hilarious video. And to watch Urban tell the guy, get out, get out, get out. And the guy had no idea what he was talking about. He's like, huh? What? What, dude? You don't want to see me naked here? What's wrong? Well, can I be here naked? I mean, can you imagine after that interview was done, how Urban must have just ripped into that guy? I mean, he had to have said something to him. It was awesome. You got to see it. Track down the video. Maybe it's on YouTube or something. And you know what? It's probably on Twitter. Put Urban Meyer. You know what? I'm pretty sure it's on Twitter. I bet it'll be on Twitter. You could probably find it on Twitter. Maybe I should, what I'll do is I'll find it for you guys on Twitter, and then I'll put it, is what I'll do. That's all. In fact, you put Urban Meyer and shirtless, and it comes out. It is awesome. See? There you go. See, so he's talking to the host at that moment. And then as he's talking to the host, a naked guy comes in and he waves and he tries to wave him off. It's classic. I'm telling you, it is freaking awesome. As you see the naked guy come in, and then you see him over Urban's shoulder. He's already waving with the right hand, and then at one point he has to then really go out all out in the wave. It's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, it is as classic as it gets. All you do is put Urban Meyer, or just put Urban on the search, and Urban Meyer shirtless comes out, and then you can check it out. It's awesome. Big O, is the NFL still playing this year? Oh, they're going to try. There's no bigger greedy bastard than the NFL. They will try. I don't know if they'll be. I don't believe they'll be successful because I think it'll spread like wildfire. See, I would give it a chance if we actually brought down, the death rate and the positivity rate and the hospitalizations. Hospitalizations are still high as hell. So until we start bringing those numbers way down, we're not going to be able to enjoy our lives the way we used to enjoy our lives. Okay? We got to mask up everywhere we go. We got to be careful. And as for, and by the way, the mask with valves will still help you. I disagree with those findings or whatever it is. It's the other one that's not going to help you.
I read the article. What it's about, they're saying that because of the way the valves open up on our 99s, they're saying that droplets could come out of those little valve
openings.
And it's like, the trajectory of your drops are out into the mask. The valves are on the side by your cheeks. Unless you got holes in your cheeks, I don't think you got stuff going out the valve.
That's just going to extremes now.
You know what I think? I think somebody that has a mask business is like, hey, I got an idea. Let's put this out there and,
Yeah. There's no way, dude. It's
trying to corner the market.
It's common sense that a mask is going to help you one way or the other and help other people too.
But that was the premise.
It's going to limit what you can shoot out, okay? Because whatever you're wearing is going to limit what you can shoot out. Now, they say that the one that wraps around that's really that's kind of tight, that thin one.
Yeah, the sock, I think is what they call.
Yeah, that one they say is doesn't do a lot of protecting apparently. But outside of that,
that's the one that most of the baseball players are wearing.
I know. Yeah.
Not all, obviously, but a majority of them, because you could see it wrapped around their neck like a scarf.
Yeah, I have one of those, but they're really thin, man. That's why they're really, really thin. Like this is a tougher material to actually penetrate because it's sealed. It's a different.
Well,
kind of material.
Feel it. It's got layers to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a different ball game, man. But hey, listen, I'm gonna wear a mask no matter what because it only makes sense that I'm gonna be able to protect others and protect myself. In the process. So for me, with 5 stents, I'll keep my distance and I'll keep wearing a mask, and I'm going to pray for the best, man. I'm going to try to stay away from this crap. Let's see, what do we have here? Urban showed more discipline towards the dude than he did with his players. SEC, ACC are going to pull so many kids now from the Midwest. I don't think so, man, because I don't think this is going to be long-lived. Once they start hitting and school opens up and kids are all on campus and parties are going on and all that stuff, then I think all hell breaks loose. They haven't experienced that yet. That's why I laugh when they say, well, they've been on campus with us and we haven't had any tests yet. Yeah, well, all the kids haven't reported yet for fall. They're about to, right? Isn't it pretty close now?
Yes, you've got a few hundred on campus. You're about to have tens of thousands.
Yeah, forget about it.
That changes the game.
That changes the game completely. Now you got all the women on campus. Come on, man. Come on, how naive can you be? All right? Let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We're coming to you live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. Back with more.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Welcome back. Thank you, DJ Gallagher. Appreciate you. I just forward your tweet to Bill, and he says he's going to he sent us a way where we can put videos on our screen. So I don't know. There you go. I don't know if you can figure it out, but go ahead. That's your job. Figure that one out. That'll be fun. Big O, hiring a doorman for the Boom Boom Room. Only ladies wearing masks are allowed in the Boom Boom Room, as Kenneth Cleveland chimes in with a little super chat. Well, I'm telling. Well, now you want the ladies wearing a mask and nothing else, right? I mean, right? If we're gonna do it right, we got to do it right. Okay. So if you're gonna hire a lady as a doorman, she can wear a mask and nothing else. Your party will be very popular. I promise you that, Kenneth Cleveland. I guarantee you, Kenneth Cleveland, that it will be very popular. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in. Deion Sanders is leaving the NFL. His contract was up, and he is now going to Barstool Sports. So if you read the story, the NFL Network has cut out like $20 million. And apparently Deion's contract was up, and they wanted him to take a pay cut. And apparently Deion was not willing to take a pay cut, so he ended up leaving the network. And then he posts a video that freaks everybody out because he signs a deal to be on Barstool Sports. Let's hear from Deion Sanders making his announcement to Barstool Sports.
Gold jacket coming to Barstools. Red NFL 100 greatest players coming to Barstool. I got a blue one for the College Hall of Fame coming to Barstool. Faith, motivation, spiritual guidance, baby, I got that too. And a real opinion on almost every sport. I got that too. Now, I have the platform that I can spread what I got to the masses. Oh, baby, thank you, Barstools, as the young generation of fans that I want to help cultivate. I want to mold you. I want to talk to you. I want to speak to you. See, I love to speak my mind, and now, baby, I got the platform to do it year-round. Controversy ain't never scared me. See, podcasts are the future, and I'm so excited about this opportunity, but I'm also excited to continue my relationship with the NFL. In some capacity, NFL has been good to me, baby. NFL has been good to me. I can't just abandon them. I'm still going to kick it a little bit. I got a lot of folks that I love and I admire them, but content distribution is where all my kids and the kids I coach get their info. Barstool, baby, is where the next generations of fans are. And guess what? I'm right where I want to be. So if you didn't know, now you know. Prime time and Barstool. I like that. Prime time and Barstool. I like that. If you don't know, baby, now you know. You heard it from the voice, or you heard it from Prime.
So many things I want to talk about there. One, he said podcast is the future. He said that in there. And now notice how a couple of times he says, now I have the platform. What have you and I been talking about here on this show about platforms, right? And I told you about the limitations that you got when you listen to 560 and 790. That's radio with no balls at all. No guts. Let's go guts because we do have ladies that also broadcast there. But you can't be honest. You can't say what's on your mind. And you can't actually be truthful about your teams. They can be truthful about the Marlins because the Marlins aren't on their station. But if it's about the Canes and it's about the Dolphins and it's about the Heat and it's about the Panthers, can't get it. And you heard Deion Sanders a couple of times mention in that whole piece how now he gets to speak his mind. Now he's got a platform. He did that 2 different times. And I think that's a message that you're trying to convey to people because, unfortunately, the corporate world ends up straddling you and you have to then be quiet. You have no choice because then you're going to lose your job and you got to pay bills. So you've got to work under certain conditions. So if you work at 560 and 790, you can't be a real sports talk show host. You can't say what's on your mind. Did any of them say that Dale Talon should be fired? Not one. Can they? Nope. They can't. They can't, and no one had the balls to actually say it. I don't think all of them even thought it. I think maybe some may have thought about it, but they didn't have the balls to say it. Why? Because then Len Weiner would be there getting you in a meeting and telling you can't do that. You understand? And so this is where, that's why I've told you guys this a couple times in the last week. Find the people you like on podcasting. Okay? That's where you're going to get your real talk of anything. Sports, politics, whatever. You're not going to get it on a network because, unfortunately, they're going to spin to one way or another. So you're not going to get any objectivity there. But that is where we're going because that's the only way you can control your voice. That's the only way people can't control your voice. That's really important. Now, if you don't care and if you want to, if you can work that way under those conditions, then go ahead. But you have to understand as a listener what you're listening to. Okay? And I think also this is why sports talk under the corporate umbrella has gone off into goofing off and to screwing off and to talking about other things because they really can't get into the sports issues. It's a shame, but that's the brutal honesty of it all. And when you hear Deion, you hear a guy that wanted to be, and at Barstool, that's not, obviously you can say what you want in Barstool because that's the way Portnoy wants it. And that's the way he does it. So if your boss can do it, he's opening the door for the rest of you to go express yourselves. And Barstool now, they are going in a very interesting direction with Deion Sanders, and they have enough money now that they probably can go and expand in those areas and find people that are willing to express themselves and give, serious opinions. So, good stuff for Deion. Okay, I don't know how it'll work out for him over there, but I do understand freedoms, okay, because I've been fighting it in radio forever, behind the scenes. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised it lasted that long, that I was there as long as I was, considering that I would never, ever, ever lay off anything that they would tell me. Ever. Whenever Whiner bitch came in and, you shouldn't be this. No, I tell him straight up, no, that's not how it goes. It's not how it goes. I mean, when he told me that I can't call Whiteside a knucklehead because he left a semi-automatic gun unlocked in his car, I said, so you don't think that's a knucklehead? Well, no, that's not the point. Well, that's my point. And then the conversation was over. So I told him, no, I'm going to call somebody a knucklehead when they're a knucklehead. And there's no defense for it. Oh, we have relations with the team. I don't care. I've interviewed Pat Riley. I've asked him tough questions. Have you, Len? Of course not, because you got no balls, dude. That's the difference. You know? I could talk to the Panther owners and tell them that Dale Talon needs to get fired. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that, man. Whether it's Saban, Jimmy Johnson, forget it, dude. If I'm going to ask you a tough question, it's not just going to be on the air. It's going to be right in your face. I'm not going to back down and all that. No, that's my job. You can't handle the tough question? Okay, then that's why that's the new media. The new media is, okay, we're going to pay you to be their left tackle. And so you've got to protect them. And so when we have controversial issues, you have to sidestep it. It's a bunch of crap, dude. That's what you're listening to nowadays on 560, on 790, on stations all across the country that are owned by these big-ass corporations and tied to teams. That's all you're listening to. You're listening to politically driven radio, and because they can't really talk about the issues, then they have to go off and talk about silly stuff. And listen, there's a market for that. Plenty of people love goofing off and screwing off on the air and all that, even though supposedly it's labeled as sports talk, but you're really not talking much sports. But now you know why. Because when there are touchy subjects, they can't actually address them, you know? And that's what Deion Sanders, I think, there's part of him that was like, I'm free now. I get to actually say what I want. And so now when he disagrees with something with the NFL, on the NFL Network, you can't do that, dude. You know, it's just the way it is. If you work on an NBA channel, radio or TV, an NFL channel, radio or TV, you can't be honest. You can't. Or you won't have either job. That's the reality. And that's what you're listening to. You know? That's the problem there. Deion's rant sounds very familiar, Big O. God bless. And it just, it sounded to me like a dude that was happy. That got some freedom. Chris Russo had a parent of NCAA, a pair of, I guess, NCAA Big Ten players called him to say his boy has practiced for 3 weeks with no COVID testing, canceling the season, came out of the blue. Parent was not happy. I don't give a rat's ass about that, Mark. Were they practicing and hitting? No. Okay? They weren't hitting. They're not tackling. They're not doing any of that. They're practicing, and they're practicing individual drills. Okay? They're not putting on there's no pads being put on now. You know that, right? It's illegal. They can't put on pads now. Bless you. So if they put on pads, they will get written up by the NCAA, and, you know, all hell will break loose. There's no pads. The universities aren't packed with kids right now. The parties aren't going on. It's so asinine. Every coach or parent that comes out and says something about the practice the last couple of weeks. Let's see. Man of 1,005 Holes says, RIP mainstream sports radio. Underground is the way to go. It's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. DJ Gallagher says, plus the topics are widespread, not just sports on the Big O Show. This show tackles everything, including the boom, boom room. That's right. Damn right. Oh, while I waited for your show today, I listened to 560, 790. The kids on 790 were horrible talking about appetizers, and 560, Le Batard, horrible and Hawk-like show. Well, look, I like Hawk and I like Le Batard. I'm not there to pick on their shows or anything. Not my style. But they do an excellent job with, the kind of stuff that they do. 790, I listened to 790 on the way here. They had a best of Zaslow and Amber on. They don't even have enough money to actually have a fill-in host. Okay? That's 790 has a live. 560, 790 only have a couple of live shows left. And one of the few live shows that they have on, they can't even pay for a fill-in. Brother, when I started at 560, it was like there were like 6 guys willing to fill in. Sports radio now is garbage compared to where it was. It was real sports radio, back in the day. What you hear now, please, dude. Let's see. 560 doesn't let you send text anymore. I tried to send a text to 560. It replied it doesn't understand the message. I don't know about, whatever. Listen. I barely listen to those stations anymore. There's very few live shows. I like listening to sports talk. You know what I mean? So I'm more of that. If I want a comedy show or whatever, then I'll go tune into something on Netflix to go laugh. I'll pull up Dave Chappelle or something and I'll laugh. But if I'm listening to sports talk, I actually want to hear sports talk. So that's what I don't hear anymore. What else? My sister-in-law worked for radio for 25 years. She made minimum wage to start, minimum wage at the end. No, radio is, it's a terrible business, man. Javier Fernandez says, makes sense. Oh, Mark McIntyre says, parent did not say that. Yeah, I bet the parent didn't talk about that they didn't have any pads and that all the kids aren't in school yet and that the parties aren't going running rapid. All the women aren't on campus yet. Show me that football can survive when they can travel, hit other people, hit themselves, party, and they're going to stay COVID free. Here, I'm always prepared for this show, dude. I always have. I get all kinds of stories. Did you guys see this? Okay, listen to this, Bill. The college people think they can have this go on, right? The Cherokee County School District in North Georgia has directed 826 students and 42 teachers to quarantine as a result of exposure to COVID-19 after being back in school for only 6 days. 6 days. This is like the baseball season. What do you do with all these people missing days? How do they make up for those days? How do they make up for all that homework? How do they make up for the classwork? What, virtual? And how about the 42 teachers? How serious are those? What have I said the entire time about kids going back to school? I get it that most of them survive, but they're all carrying the damn virus. The people they're going to kill are the teachers, the administrators, the janitors, the cafeteria workers, the electricians, all the other people that are old. Those are the people they're going to kill. Yeah, no, college is going to work, of course. Yeah. Kids follow rules. Of course. It's just silliness, man. And it's not that I don't want it to happen. I want football. I need football. But I got to be honest. How the hell does football happen? How? In the middle of a pandemic. And again, we're so numb to it. Most of you don't even keep up with that 1,500 people died yesterday. Oh, 1,500. And you know what it is? There'll be some people that don't even follow it, And they'll think that it's normal that 1,500 people died of COVID yesterday. You've got to be berserk to send your kid back to school right now. Yeah, no, man. Keep your kid on virtual now. That's the only way. That's the only way.
All my nieces are the only ones left in school. Not happening.
Right.
Not happening. All three of
Virtual.
them. No school.
Virtual.
Yep. Virtual. That's it.
You have to do virtual. My daughter's doing virtual. She's getting through it, bro. You know? Listen, if you have work ethic, you'll get through anything. You adjust and you figure it out. That's all. Robert Triana says, Candela, like you said before. I agree. Uncle Neil used to say that it was the worst cutthroat business, the radio business. And he's 1,000% right. 1,000% right. All we have... Maniac, Dolphin Maniac says corporate radio sucks. Yeah, you're right about that. Cancel RNC, but open schools. No, the best part is all those top people, they're not sending their kids to school. Trump tells you to open schools, but he's sending his kid is going virtual. DeSantis tells you, I'm going to open schools, but his kids are going to be virtual. They're not sending their kids to school.
Well, most of those people's kids don't go to school. They go to private schools.
No, but that's still school. They go to schools. They're going to do virtual.
Oh, yeah.
They're all virtual. But then yet they want to send everybody else's kids to school. You know. I'm doing virtual, too. I have one more class before I graduate Broward College in the fall. Good luck, Matthew. Keep kicking ass, my man. Nice job by you. All right, so Deion Sanders, you are free, baby. You are free. What else do we have? Did you guys see Alex Cintron? Now, the A's and the Astros got into a brawl, and Cintron is the hitting coach, and he ends up being the guy that instigates the brawl. Okay? Apparently he said something about the player's mother or something. I don't know what it was that said it. And he was suspended for 20 games, and the player was suspended for 6. I got to tell you something. Alex Cintron should be fired on the spot. If I was the owner of that baseball team, and I know the owner for the Astros doesn't have much scruples as it is, because that guy is, we saw him in that press conference. But if I was the owner, I would have gotten on the phone after the game, and I would say, hey, do me a favor, put Alex Cintron on. Hey, Alex, do me a favor. Pack your S. Get the hell out of here. We'll send you a check. I don't want to see you ever again in this franchise. Because for Acre, you're there to be a bridge to actually doing the right thing. That's what you're supposed to lead your players in that bridge to Rightville, not Wrongville. And for a guy like Cintron to still think he's a player and that he's a Mr. Tough Guy and that he's going to, and he's going to instigate a fight. And what's he trying to do? Lure the guy so he could try to get him thrown out? Is that what he's doing? You're in the middle of a pandemic. The last thing as a coach you should be doing is instigating anything. You should be, in fact, doing everything possible to stop anything from happening. Okay? That's what you should be doing. You should be protecting your players. And you should be showing some leadership and some intelligence in the process. You showed none. Players will make mistakes and things like that, but a coach, you can make certain mistakes, not that one. Not that one in a non-pandemic situation, but doing it in a pandemic situation, Alex Cintron, forget 20 games, dude. He should be fired. That's not the kind of guy you want part of your organization. Because if he can't think right now, he's never going to get it. This is a dire. You're not living in a bubble. You got COVID running rampant in baseball. People are getting COVID all the time. Marlins lost out a bunch of games. The Cardinals have lost out in games. You've had people test positive all throughout the league. And it's going to continue because, people are free. They're not in bubbles. The environment's not controlled. And to me, I saw that yesterday, and I said, you know what? This is where they slipped up. You had to fire this guy and send a message. Yo, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you are not allowed to do anything like this. We will not tolerate this. That's why they gave the pitcher 8 games? Kelly?
Yes, the guy from the Dodgers, exactly.
They gave him 8 games in a 60-game season. That's a lot of games to give. But again, they had to do it because they wanted to stop this right there and then because they don't want fights happening. Because we all know what happens when somebody gets plunked. Bench is clear. All of a sudden, you have really no social distancing. And then we go from no social distancing to actual fights.
That's one of the things that baseball mandated, that this will not be tolerated at all when they started back up.
I think the 20 games was being nice to Cintron. I think they should have fired him on the spot. Not baseball, because they can't do that, but the owner should have done it. And he should have said, no, dude, we cannot have this. And especially after everything that they've gone through as an organization, you're going to do that? I thought that was pretty disgusting. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in, you can chime in. We'll read your text questions at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
back. All right. If you want to get in on the text line, 786-322-1105. G from Pennsylvania says, Big O, I wasn't sure if you saw Biden picked for the VP. I still think we're all screwed. Who the president between Biden or Trump? I'm starting to think now I might as well vote for Joe Jurgensen, the libertarian presidential instead of. And then I said she's probably a better option. The problem is you're taking away votes on the Democratic side because it usually ends up splitting the Dems, not the Republicans. So by voting for a libertarian or an independent, usually you take away votes from Biden is what will end up happening. You won't take votes away from Trump. So you'll end up helping Trump in the process by voting for a third party. A lot
of times Republicans back independents to have that 7 or 8% of the vote go and it's taken away exactly like you said from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And that is what helps the Republicans win.
Yeah. I'm with you. Oh, what are your thoughts on the drive-in and Metallica concert on August 29? I talked about it already. That segment's out, Marta. We did it 2 days ago when we saw it. I'm not buying because it's a pre-recorded concert. It's all production. And so it's great that they're going to do it, but I'll wait for it to be on YouTube and watch it for free. Unless you're doing it live, that's the only way you would catch me paying for it. If you're not doing a live show, I don't want anything to do with it. I'll wait. It'll eventually be on YouTube a year from now, and I'll watch it or whatever. But I'm just not going to do that.
Give it a week to 10 days. It'll be pirated and be out there.
Maybe, yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right. You know what, Marta? He's right. Somebody may end up pirating the thing and putting it up on YouTube and all that. So I just, I can't do that one. I talked about it earlier. You could go back on whether it's SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you follow us on it, and you'll see the whole segment. We talked about it, the Metallica concert, which is
that would be October 10th.
October 10th. There you go.
Segment number 14.
Segment 14, October 10th, Marta. Right there. I got the whole thing there talking about Metallica. Speaking of music, let me give you a little some here in music. Let's go over a little music history here since we all love to talk a little musica. First of all, music history. Led Zeppelin in 1968 on this date. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham played together for the first time when they rehearsed at a studio in London. The first song they played was the version of The Train Kept A-Rollin'. In 67 on this date, Fleetwood Mac made their live debut at London's National Jazz and Blues Festival. The headliners at the festival were Donovan and Pink Floyd. Speaking of Metallica, in 91 on this date, Metallica released their self-titled album, the band's fifth and best-selling album of all time, better known as the Black Album. And in 1994 on this date, Woodstock 94 took place in New York, and it featured performances from Green Day, Nine Inch Nails, Metallica, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. Birthdays today. Let's go over a couple of birthdays today. First of all, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits was born in 1949 on this date. August Darnell. Do you guys know who August Darnell is? He is the singer of Kid Creole and the Coconuts. He was born on this date back in 1951. What is it? What's the name of that song with the girl? I'll think about it in a minute. Anyways, Pat Metheny, the guitarist, born in 1954 on this date. In 1963 on this date, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, was born on this date. A couple streams going on today. If you're a Grateful Dead fan, okay, I think, Marta, you are a Grateful Dead fan. Bob Weir and Wolf Brothers, they are performing like they do every Wednesday. You go to nugs.tv, and they do a weekly show at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. So you can catch Bob Weir and the Wolf Brothers, 8 o'clock tonight, Nugs TV, NUGS.TV. Dave Matthews Band will perform like they do every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You got to go to DMB, which is Dave Matthews Band, DMBDrivein.com, DMBDrivein.com. And at 9 o'clock, really cool, I love alternative music, man. And Robin Hitchcock is one that I've got a couple of his albums from back in the day. Well, Robin is going to be performing with Emma Swift tonight at 9 o'clock. You go to the website stageit.com. And there you go. Those are some of the music news and notes here on the program, if you want. The other thing that I would tell you, speaking of Metallica, Metallica expanded their All Within My Hands Foundation and their Scholars Initiative from 10 to 15 schools this year. All Within My Hands is committed to a $100,000 donation to each of the 15 schools and their career and technical education programs created in 2019 through a partnership between AWMH and the American Association of Community Colleges. 10 colleges from communities that supported Metallica during the band's recent U.S. tours were selected, with each receiving $100,000 towards programs designed to support students training to enter the American workforce. This incredible inaugural year resulted in more than 700 first-wave Metallica scholars with overall 80 to 90% program completion rate and a 93% job placement for those who completed their certificates and studies. How about that, dude? Huh? Metallica giving back and giving $1.5 million? Almost makes me want to pay for that drive-in show just because he's doing something like that, because they're doing something like that. That's really cool. $1.5 million from Metallica to community colleges. That's, brother, that's the kind of stuff that you just got to like tip your hat to and respect, as they say. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And remember, email. You got to send me something that weighs a little bit more, a video, a picture. You got a letter you want to send me or whatever. Orlando at BigORadioshow.com is the way you want to reach out to us. We're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. Would love to meet you guys out there. NorCal says Master of Puppets is Metallica's best album, in my opinion. It's not even close, really. Master of Puppets is a great album, dude. Love Ride the Lightning. That's another one. Metallica's got a lot, man. It's hard to settle down on one, but they got so much music. They have done a great job of creating a catalog that is absolutely phenomenal. Although Man of 1,005 Holes says, yes, NorCal, I agree. Battery is my favorite song on that album. How about that? So you got some agreement there, NorCal. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. The Indians, they are having their problems on that team. And pitcher Adam Plutko. Apparently Mike Clevenger and Zach Plesac, they went out drinking and partying. And then they lied about it, okay? And so now they're in trouble. They violated the team rules of partying in Chicago. So the boys now are also on a suspension in a way, or not as on a on a quarantine along the way. So in the process, Adam Plutko, the Indians pitcher, last night was asked about the two players who went out partying and lied about all of this. And I got to tell you, the brutal honesty, I love. I absolutely love. And we're talking about, a stud on this team. Okay, so it's not like we're talking about some scrub. Clevenger is important, and Plesac, these are guys that they should know better than to do this, right? They went out partying. They left their supposed bubble. They're not in a bubble, but they kind of have this agreement of trying to, stay responsible. So here is Mr. Pluko.
They hurt us bad. They lied to us. They sat here in front of you guys and publicly said things that they didn't follow through on. And it's going to be up to them. It really is. And, I'll let them sit here and tell you how they're going to earn their trust back. I don't need to put words in their mouths. The term that I continue to hear, and excuse my language, is grown-ass man, right? So those grown-ass men can sit here and tell you guys what happened and tell you guys what they're going to do to fix it, and I don't need to do that for them.
That is, now, to give you the whole thing, the Indians were upset with Plesac for leaving the team hotel in Chicago to hang with friends during a road series with the White Sox. So they wouldn't let him back on the team jet. The 25-year-old right-hander knew he wasn't supposed to leave the team hotel without specific permission per team and MLB protocol due to the COVID pandemic, but he went out on Saturday night anyways. The team found out, took immediate action. Plesac grew up in Crown Point, Indiana, about 45 minutes from Chicago. He was ordered to be tested immediately. Then the team sent him back to Cleveland by car service on Sunday instead of joining the rest of the team on the team jet. The flight usually takes 90 minutes. The drive is over 5 hours. Plesac was also placed on mandatory 72-hour quarantine and will have to undergo more testing before he's allowed to rejoin the team. And he goes on to say, I realized I made a poor choice to leave the hotel and broke protocol and all that stuff, right? Problem is that Clevenger also went with him, right? But at the moment, they didn't know. So Clevenger was on the plane with the team. So they don't know if Clevenger is affected. They don't know, obviously, if Plesac's affected, but more importantly, Clevenger was around the rest of the team in the plane. So if he is infected and then infects other people, that becomes a major problem. And this is why, another reason why college football will not work. It won't work. Because they're way more irresponsible than these guys. They're kids. And they feel like they're incredibly invincible. But it was nice to hear the brutal honesty. Do you know why? Because Pluko is taking the pandemic seriously. Because he doesn't want to get it. And then he doesn't want to give it to his family members. Again, you also forget athletes. How about us? Nice job by Adam Pluko, man. Ray Grulong chiming in with a little super chat. For a moment there, I was about to reach for my my thingamajig that presses the what's it called, the siren, but I'm like, I'm not in studio. Ray, by the way,
I got you, man.
Howdy. I know I sound like a broken record, but the NBA is the best on handling the virus in the bubble. Well done. Yeah. Well, the hockey did it too. NHL, give them credit also. They don't have any positives either. The MLS ran their tournament perfectly. Everybody that went to a bubble had no problem. Okay? The only good thing about all of this, and I'm glad you bring it up, Ray, is if you watch these three sports be so successful in a bubble, you can't create a virtual bubble. You have to create a real bubble like they did, where it is policed, where it is that it is strict, okay? And they're not going to end up doing that. Like, look what happened with Cleveland. They had their virtual bubble that they've created, and you could still leave. The NBA, it's like, no, you can't leave. There is no leaving. And if you leave, then we tell you, and then you can't come back for 10 days. There's a protocol to come back. You're not going to be able to sneak back in the NBA. You're not going to be able to sneak back in the MLS because they've got you tracked. They've got that thing on you, and they know exactly. It's kind of like that that thing that they put on dogs, that it has like a perimeter, and they can get shocked if they go farther than that perimeter, and they end up. It kind of teaches them to stay in the perimeter. You know what I'm talking about? I would never do that, but I know that it does exist. That they're able. It's kind of like that, except they don't get shocked. They just know when you left. Hell, they knew when one guy went to pick up food, and he crossed over a line of the bubble to get the food. He didn't even go out. It was just somebody bringing him food, and he crossed the line of the bubble for a couple feet. Violation, you're done for 10 days. That was the guy from the Kings. Rashawn Holmes, I believe. You got to do this right or forget it. And that's the thing about it, Ray. Will they look at it and say, hey, guys, will the owners and will the players meet and say, you know what, this is probably the better thing to do from here on out? You know?
Man, if I'm one of the Cleveland Indian players, when he comes back, I have something to say to him, man.
Well, I'm sure.
Because that's some serious, man.
Right. Well, that's what you heard in Pluko's voice. That was the beautiful thing about it. You could tell. You could tell he takes it serious. He took it personal, bro.
Like you're an irresponsible. You don't care about me. You don't care about
my family.
Anybody around people around you. You don't care about.
Right.
You know what, man? You need to get.
Right.
You got to go.
That's my point. That's my point. And you can tell in his voice that he was pissed off about it. You know? I got to give him love for at least being brutally honest and calling it like it is.
It's incredible the number of people that still don't take this serious.
Yeah. That's because they are going to end up being affected by it, and then that's when they'll take it serious. Baked Bean says, Big O, what are we going to talk about if no football? Baked Beans, I got to tell you, my brother, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, we'll have basketball. That's the good thing. We'll still have playoffs basketball, and at least our Heat is in the playoffs early on. I don't think they'll make a deep run, but I think that at least they'll make some noise early on for a couple of weeks. My brother, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen because I think the NFL will get tripped up too. The NFL can say all they want and everything. They will get tripped up when this is all said and done. Because guys are not going to follow all the rules in the NFL. If you're not in a bubble, you got knuckleheads. You always have 2 or 3, 4 knuckleheads in every locker room. And there's going to be a couple guys that the IG model is going to call, are going to slip into the DMs, and they're going to pick up COVID from somebody, and then they're going to spread it. And in football, it's going to be way worse than baseball. Remember how we learn about this. You can be infected with the virus and spreading it and test negative. It doesn't come out positive for a couple of days. So you could be spreading it and you're testing negative. Oh no, I don't have it, but you do. You're actually a spreader at the moment, and you don't know it. As they say, you're asymptomatic. You're not showing anything. You don't feel it, but you're actually spreading it. And we learn about this. We learned something new, just like this enlarged heart thing that just came out now. And it's scaring the crap out of all these people in college football, which it should. You don't want to be the person that said, yeah, let's play ball, and you ruin some young man's life. You can't do that. You have to be responsible. Mountain West Conference, I commend the MAC. They're being responsible. Right now, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC, they're looking like they're just greedy. That's it. And I want football. You know, it's who was it that just said it now? Baked Beans. He goes, Big O, what are we going to talk about if no football? You think I want football to go away? Dude, I want football. I need it badly. I don't know what we'll talk about. That's going to be tough. It really is. But what are we going to do? Look, we can't force the issue either. That's what you can't do, because all you're going to do is create even more problems. And this is why the virus continues, because we don't actually do the responsible thing to eliminate it. And then that way we can all get on with our lives. I mean, listen, I have kept working throughout the entire pandemic, but again, you have to work carefully now. I'd like to get back to a regular life. It would be nice. Oh, you want to put a wireless pet fence around players? Super funny. They'd be getting zapped constantly. No, you're right. You're right. I hate that Orlando City went that far in the finals with that forward striker. The kid, yes. They need to sign a goon to spike that a-hole in the back of the ankles. Old school style soccer. Clifton Wellman says college football can't go through a bowl season without guys getting suspended. You're right. You're right. And they're going to end up getting sick. You know? Big O, NFL has to go bubble. Herman, I wish they would, man. I wish they would go 32 bubbles. I wish they would. Now, if you want to try to create your own virtual bubble, that's not going to work either. If you really can't police guys and keep them in a spot, there's no way that you survive with this thing. And they have to be willing to stay there. Now it's 4 months, but, I mean, it's not the end of the world. And it's not like you're doing it every year. It's this 1 year where you got to do it and try to get through it and have a season. I would love for that to be the case. Would be nice, man. We're gonna see what's going to happen. All right, let's take a quick break because it's already 1:30 here. We'll come back with more. We're at VSS West Pines, baby, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by, say hi. And if you want to buy anything you need in CBD products, all kinds of CBD products, I'm telling you, come on out here. And then, of course, all the goodies that they have here at VSS West Pines. 12397 Pembroke Road. You can order by phone, 954-613-3367. That's 954-613-3367. VSSWestPines.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show.
Big O Show!
We're back. We take you here for a few more. We'll have some fun out here at VSS West Pines. If you want to get in on the text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. They had a paddleboarding festival in Russia. Now, I mention this because stupidity happens all over the world, okay? And sometimes if you're racist, because we do have some people like that in this country, they see the rioting that goes on sometimes in the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and they'll blame the black community. And in this case, there's a lot of white people actually, way more white people actually rioting and looting than any black person out there. But they'll use that, right, because they're racist, and they'll twist it like they normally do. I went to France for my wedding anniversary a year and a half ago. They were rioting there, the French. Did you watch what's going on in Beirut? After the city got bombed, they are now destroying their city on top of all of that. It's something that goes on everywhere. It's not limited to one country, one nationality, one color, one religion, one sex, nothing. It's the same everywhere. Stupidity is the same everywhere. It's idiots that are protesting without a mask. Remember, I'm talking about non-mask thing. I'm not talking. I love the protests. I hate protesting without a mask right now. Okay? It's idiots in the Ozarks packing a pool. It's idiots going to support Trump without a mask. Support Trump all you want, more power to you, whatever, dude. I'm just saying do it with a mask. That's all. Go support the orange man with a mask, please. Even if the orange man doesn't want to wear a mask himself, you wear a mask. So, paddleboarding, Russia. What do you see there, Bill? What do you see in paddleboarding in Russia?
Wow, they tried to compete with the Ozarks. Pool.
Exactly. Look at this. Paddleboarding in Russia. Thousands, dude.
They did a hell of a job. They really did well competing with the Ozarks.
Wow. Like thousands. And then you see the people on the sides? It's like on the walls, there are thousands of people to watch it. None of them are wearing masks. None of them. It's not it's just like if you're not objective and you're biased about something or someone, you'll spin it one way or another. You'll spin it to some kind of side of the politics, some sex, some religion, some nationality, some color. And it goes on everywhere, man. It's the weirdest thing. And it's just, you have your doubters everywhere, man. And that's why this whole thing continues to explode. I can't imagine how many people are going to catch it there.
Look, yesterday,
that's a lot of people, dude.
I got inspired by, obviously, the steak talk. Thank you, Alexa. And had to go to Publix, picked up a steak, blah. Nice. I'm standing there walking I'm walking in the store, and I'm looking over. There's like 3 or 4 cars, 6 guys, younger, and they're all just hanging out, no mask, high-fiving, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, man,
that's
just,
it. That's being young. That's being young right there. That's being young. That's crazy. All right. Now, before I do this, before I go over this conversation, I first have to warn you, if you have any kids around you right now, you need to get rid of them. I'm not talking about get rid of your kids. I'm talking about get rid of them out of the car. If you're at home, get them out of the room. It's either that or you turn off the show for a couple of minutes.
Oh, there's several parents who were really happy because they've been dealing with the kids for 5 months at home?
Yeah.
All the time. They were like, get rid of them. Great. Big O says get rid of them.
I'm going to play a soundbite now of Olivia Munn. She's talking about Aaron Rodgers. And she's talking about Aaron Rodgers sexually. So this is pretty graphic. There's a lot of bad words. We're not beeping them, okay? There's a lot of bad words. And Olivia Munn is insinuating something about Aaron Rodgers. This is on the Whitney Cummings podcast. And it's an interesting conversation. Now, I'm going to buy you a little time here as I've been talking to kind of guide your kids out, okay?
She makes Derek Lewis look tame.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Exactly. So I want you to be prepared because there's a lot of bad words here, all right? I'm not cleaning it up because I don't need to clean it up. I'm not on regular radio. We're here. We're all big boys and girls. You have been warned. I have told you ahead of time there's explicit language. I have given you plenty of time to get rid of the kids, okay? All right? There we go. Explicit language. Olivia Munn talking about what we think is her sex life with Aaron Rodgers.
You're out there feeling so fucking confident. I have this one boyfriend in particular that was just the worst. The worst at having sex. In fact, he went down on me twice during the years we were together. And I asked him once, I said, why don't you ever go down? But by the way, I don't want you to. Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering why, because I feel like most guys, I can't get out of my vagina. And I'm like, you have to fake it all the time. So he was like...
Because it's so fucking warm.
It is. He said, he's like, well, I just haven't had a lot of, experience doing it. And I was like, oh. And that's when I was also like, he may like Benton instead, that might be his kind of game instead.
No. Right.
But also, it was like every time we had sex, every time, dark, spooning from behind. Every time.
Dark, emotionally dark, or it was just dark?
Well, it was a dark relationship.
Both.
But it also lights out. Lights out.
Lights out.
It was like spooning from behind. So it's like you don't have to see my face. You don't have to see that as a girl.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I didn't put all those pieces together until later.
Been there.
And then you're like, but I mean, first of all, I got evidence about something, and then I put the other pieces together. I was like, oh, that's what all...
That's an interesting conversation that Olivia Munn is having with Whitney Cummings on Aaron Rodgers. Well, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, like, I cannot be happy that this is out, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and every time you had sex with her, it was only one way. Like, don't you want to have sex in other positions with the lights on, different places? I mean, that's usually regular sexual relations between couples. Sex is everywhere. Sex is with the lights on. Sex is with the lights off. Sex is with
spotlight. Bring a spotlight in there.
Whatever, bro. Right? I mean, that's usually your regular sex life. You don't really dictate the environment all the time. The environment is what it is. You're in the middle of watching a movie and things get out of hand and you had sex right there on the couch. Right? I mean, that's why not?
You walk in through the grocery store and you slip into the back area of the store.
There you go. Exactly. I'm just saying, it just Aaron Rodgers cannot be happy about that one. Okay? I got to tell you. Woo! And Olivia Munn is one that, every once in a while I'd like the lights on too. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the fun part about having the lights on.
She's very classy. You could tell. Incredibly.
I like her, by the way. I like her. I like Olivia Munn. I've always said about Olivia Munn, she's not like beautiful, but when it comes to sexy, she's off the charts. She has what's the name of that damn show that I used to see her all the time? And the government show where Sheen was the president. Damn it. Somebody help me out. Sheen was the president. What was the name of that? It went like 7 or 8 seasons. The heroin addict was the writer who's a brilliant.
West Wing.
West Wing.
It was?
Yes, it was the West Wing. Thank you. Super, super excellent show. Love the West Wing. And I don't know if you know, but it was the guy that wrote it had heroin issues. Like, he's a hell of a writer. and has addiction issues on top of all of that. Yep. How about that? So I wonder how Aaron Rodgers is feeling after hearing that, or has he heard it yet? Herman says he loves this show. Thank you, Herman. We love you for loving it.
Are we waiting for Danica Patrick to pile on?
Well, that could happen next. Mark McIntyre goes, uh-oh, woman scorned. Yeah,
he is 100% right, man. There is no wrath like that.
Yeah,
None.
Well, hold on a second. But I talked about this already a couple of weeks ago. Aaron Rodgers looks to me like the guy that can't get along with anybody. Okay, he doesn't get along with his parents, doesn't talk to his brother. I had his brother on my show once, and the rep that was booking the interview with me told me, hey, you can talk to him about anything except his brother. Okay? So, I mean, and we saw that he couldn't stay with Danica, and before that was Olivia Munn. So, you can say what you want. And I don't know, maybe she's right. Who knows? Maybe he's kind of in a walk-in closet right now, hasn't figured it all out yet. Olivia Munn is hot. I would always turn on the light. Hails to the yeah. I had sex in the cooler at Publix Deli with a coworker. Now that's what I'm talking about. There you go. That's strong. Hopefully not during the COVID age, but that's strong on your part. Yeah, that right there matches me, because I had sex at modern age, right behind a bedroom set. That to me has always been the ballsiest place I ever had sex. Modern age.
The produce cooler, sitting there smoking and exhaling, and of course the frost coming out of your mouth because of 40 degrees.
Right.
And not knowing when you've exhaled all your hit.
I remember watching Olivia Munn when she was on G4 TV's Attack of the Show. The only reason to watch, by the way. Julius 305 says, not the Coral Gables Publix, I hope. Super Boom Shack goes, damn, what did I tune into? Talking about Olivia saying Aaron didn't eat that monkey correctly. Oh, that is funny. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm serious. I'm not being Ray. I'm not being funny on the modern age. It's the tooth. It's the tooth.
You weren't out there in the showroom where
I was banging right behind a bedroom set.
Ah, okay. You went behind the furniture.
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it like right on the furniture. That's people walking by.
That's kind of a bitch, because there's all these beds, and you're like, man, we got to be over here standing up behind the furniture.
Right. Exactly. Well, we weren't.
You know what? You do what you got to do. That's it.
We weren't really standing.
Oh, okay.
The
you took the comforter off the bed and set up your own little picnic area?
No. The stage went past, and there was a wall that had the bedroom stuff, and behind the wall there was a little left of the stage, and it all was rugged. So we were lying down there having sex.
Oh, rug burn, bro, that sucks.
Yeah. That and doing it at a showroom house. So like, you know how you go to these places that they just opened up and they've got 40 homes, and then they've got like 3 of them that they're showing, that they're like, demonstration homes. I did it in a demonstration home. Yeah, we want to check. Oh, we're going to check out that model. Yeah, we checked out that model, all right. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, when you're young, bro, when you're in your teens, you're banging everywhere.
Well, you can't go home, man.
And we're not like Aaron Rodgers. We do it anywhere and everywhere. Light, no light, some light, whatever. It doesn't matter.
When you're a kid doing it at home, unless the folks are gone for an extended period of time, man, bad.
Home sex is paranoid sex. Because all you're doing is you're having sex, but you're paranoid about getting busted having sex. So then you have both going on at the same time. That's That one's, when the paranoia gets in the way of the sex, that's just no fun. Kind of takes away from it all. So there you go. All right. So Olivia Munn has opened up many ways about Aaron Rodgers. Huh? On Whitney Cummings. No pun intended. Okay.
She is?
Folks already are asking, where's that interview? Kenneth says he had sex with a chick on the hood of a police car. Now that's awesome right there. I had sex on McDonald's front counter where the register is sitting. Long time ago. I love it. Now everybody talks about their sexual escapades. It's a beautiful that's always a fun subject to get into.
You worked at a restaurant or a bar. You have to do it like when it's closed, you're closing down. You got to do it there so that like when it's open, you're like, yeah, right there. That's where I.
Yeah, right. That's where I left my mark. Is that what you're saying?
I had a really good time right here.
Yeah. I remember I had a girlfriend that worked at a dentist office. So one night, we went to the dentist office, and she filled a cavity, and then I filled something else. And then it was just, a lot of fun. So I remember that. Sex on a dentist chair is actually creative because it's a strong chair. So you can do a lot of things on a dentist chair. Lights were on. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't like that. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program. Oh, do you think Rodgers will be shunned for being that's her suggestion. That's not true, okay? But there are people that are going to hear that. Now, I wonder if a defensive player is going to bring it up in the middle of a game.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Yeah?
Get under his skin? Yeah, man, for sure.
All right. Okay. All right. You talk about a thorough cleaning. You'll never get this anywhere else, only on the Big O Show. Yeah, no, you're right about that. Yeah, you're not going to get this kind of talk on regular radio. That's for sure. Dr. Big O, the sex dentist. Yes. Yes. I mean, isn't sex about filling cavities? All right, 786-322-1105.
I already see it.
I'm sorry.
Saturday or Sunday.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
Saturday or Sunday, best of sex talk.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, I love it. By the way, daily COVID testing to be extended until September 5th. The NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to ground rules to return to work. Players were insistent on daily testing. They got 2 weeks worth. Okay, but now and they'll have another month. So the NFLPA just announced an agreement with the NFL for daily testing of players continued until September 5th. We will continue to monitor positivity rates within each club and relevant information from each team community to inform our assessment of testing frequency ahead of the regular season, the union statement said. When it's possible for the NFL to maintain that same kind of numbers the NBA and the NHL are enjoying at the moment without creating the bubble, no, they won't be able to. The increased testing gives them a better chance to stay on top of any positives before they become outbreaks. So after September 5th, they're not going to do everyday testing? I mean, really, the league that just craps money can't do everyday testing. How does that make any sense? Don't you want to keep this sport alive? Don't you want to try to survive? I still think even with everyday testing, since you can't test positive the moment you do have it, you could be spreading it to people and it still comes out negative. How do you not, knowing that, which makes it really impossible, by the way, unless you bubble everybody, how do you not have everyday testing as an automatic? that should have been a deal breaker for the players. Everyday testing, are you kidding me? That should not even be discussed. Of course there should be everyday testing. That part to me is, again, this is why the players get smoked in all of the negotiations with the owners. That if players were smart, if players stood their ground, they would have said, hey, listen, this is a deal breaker. Unless you can test every day, we're not doing this. And your leadership should be smart enough to have figured that out. Amazing. Oh, Lordy.
They really are greedy, man. Hardcore. Just at every turn, man, you want to dig into my pocket in any capacity, man? I don't care what it's about. No.
Yeah. And Matthew's asking me, did you clean the chair afterwards? Hell no. That's not my job. I did my job. Okay? Let's see. What else do you have? What else? Off to land the client. Wish me luck. DJ Gallagher, good luck, baby. Get it done. Land the client. Then have sex on a dentist chair. It's a good thing, I'm telling you. You'll enjoy it. It's a positive thing out there. Everybody should have sex on a dentist chair before you check out. It's a very creative chair, and you can do all kinds of angles on it. Not that that's a thing for Aaron Rodgers. You know, he doesn't like a lot of angles, only likes one angle. But that can't be good. It just can't be good when you got a fine-ass woman like that just talking junk about you. That's just that can't be good. That's just not. That doesn't sound like he left a good impression with her. Jordan Love is going to go out with Olivia Munn now. Now that would be hilarious. Can you imagine that? Jordan making love to Olivia Munn. So he's there like, I took your woman, and now I'm taking your job. Yeah, that would be good. Oh, God. All right, we got Heat tonight, by the way, taking on the Thunder. And, this game tonight, it's like, just can we fast forward to Friday, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Like, we're just waiting for the Pacers game on Friday to see, okay, let's see how the Pacers respond after the ass-kicking on Monday, right? That second half was just a beautiful thing by the Heat. They dismantled that team. And so now you want to see how T.J. Warren and Oladipo respond to that game on Monday. And it's almost like we got to sit there and watch this game and kind of get through this and get the next day and get to Friday night already so I can watch that game. Because we're all dying for NBA playoff basketball to start. We all know that our beloved Heat is the 4 seed, right? This game on Friday is like Monday, that it gives you a little bit of a playoff feel to it. And so it's kind of a downer, isn't it? Like, you have this high on Monday, right? And then on Wednesday, you don't really like tonight. Are you really jacked about Heat Thunder tonight? No, it does nothing for you. You want them to win. Of course, I'm going to watch it. I hope they win, all that stuff. But it's Friday. It's Friday, the game that I want to see. So it's almost like from Monday, I said to myself, after the game was over, I was like, man, I can't wait to Friday just to check out the chapter, because you've beat them already. Isn't it 3 times now? Aren't they 3-0, I believe? Isn't that going to be the 4th?
Yes. So I don't. Have we ever swept? As much of a thorn as they are in our side,
I can't believe
I'm willing to bet that we have never swept them.
I can't believe we have. No.
I'd bet some major money on that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. It'd be rare for us to sweep because we always would lose over in Indiana, because it's always been a pain in the ass.
What do we have, like 3 wins in 10, 12 years.
No, it's a great point.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no. We were bad over there. Our boys just did not get it done, but they have beaten these guys. So now, if you're the Pacers, you got to beat Miami on Friday. You have to beat Miami on Friday. It's not the end-all, be-all, but psyche-wise, if you lose that game, and that's 4 straight against them in one season, and separated by 4 months of a pandemic break, so they beat you before the pandemic break twice, and then after the pandemic, they beat you twice in a week. In 5 days, they beat you twice. So for Indiana, you are going to neuter them, absolutely just strike them down if you do this. It's interesting. They got to play they need it for their psyche. So it'll be fun to see. Now,
I have to ask,
if Miami is locked in at 4 on Friday, do you play your guys? Do you just screw Indiana and play all the backups and say, hey, we're getting ready for the playoffs? And so then Indiana gets nothing out of the game. You screw with them because it's you won that one. We gave it to you because we played our backups.
The responsible thing to do once you lock up your playoff spot
is rest.
Because you got to look at the big picture. What's the most important thing?
Yeah.
My question is Nunn playing tonight? Is he back in the mix?
Yes, he's back today. Yes, he is.
Then you know what I'm most interested to see, how we work, because how well Draj and Jimmy on the floor together.
Yeah.
What we do with Nunn and how we work our
Nunn's got to get his
rotation.
offensive game back.
So he needs to have minutes. He needs to be on the floor.
But I'm wondering if this is who he is. The kid can play and help you all over, but he's never going to be an efficient shooter. Because from the start, since the start of the season, and when he cooled off, he has stayed that way all the way through. He has not been a good shooter for a long time now. For a long, long time, he hasn't been an efficient shooter. So I don't know. That would be the interesting part because Kendrick helps you in so many different ways. His offensive game has got to get a little better. But tonight, I got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing the Heat, but it's not like a game that I'm dying to see. The one I want to see is Friday if they actually play everybody, and then let's see how that one goes. That'll be interesting. 8 o'clock tonight. We'll see what happens. Speaking of basketball, did you see Giannis Antetokounmpo headbutt Mo Wagner? From the Bullets?
Yeah,
the Wizards?
That was pretty bad.
I mean, it's...
Talk about being caught in the moment and letting your emotions get the better of you.
But it's not normal for Giannis. They'll suspend him for a game because he has no track record.
I saw that he's been ejected 3 times, is what I saw.
Okay. Wow, but I've never seen him do that. You know what I mean? Anybody can get ejected in arguing a call with an official or something along those lines. But seeing him headbutt the player, wow. That was whoa, where's that coming from? I mean, you've had a good year so far. You can't be.
Is that the frustration of how they performed the last few games? Because they have not looked like the Bucks.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Some people are speculating that it might be because he's got to, make a decision to stay or go in Milwaukee, or the fact that people don't believe that Milwaukee's the right place for him, all that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Obviously, something was bothering the young man, but I had never seen him act that way. And that, to me, was the part that I was kind of floored because I thought he was above that. You won't ever see, at least I didn't think, but I won't see Russell Wilson do something like that. So I thought he was wired like Russell, like Tebow, like those kind of guys that they're not going to give into that kind of stuff. You're not going to bait them into that. I thought he was smarter than that. And look, LeBron, you won't bait him into that kind of stuff either. And LeBron, bro, people have taken cheap shots at LeBron left and right. He has taken all
LeBron
kinds of...
takes it out on you during the game.
Right.
He goes and slams over your head. He blocks your shot.
That's what a mature.
You know?
That's what a mature person does. He beats you in other ways to then kind of make his point. And LeBron is. I've said it when he was here. I'm surprised LeBron never gets in a fight because of the shots.
The way when he was with us, man, the way he would get hacked.
Everybody, it still happens with the Lakers or with Cleveland. No matter, he gets.
But
hacked.
he was really,
dude. Yeah, like Shaq lost it a couple times throughout his career. You know what I mean? Because he's so big and strong that it gets to a point with the LeBrons and the Shaqs that in order to call a foul on them, the referee is programmed that it's got to be a really hard foul. Now, if it's a regular foul, they don't call it on Shaq and they don't call it on LeBron, but they call it on everybody else because it's a hard foul on everybody else. But on those behemoths, it doesn't seem like it affects them. So they end up taking an extra pounding and all of that. And I've said for many years, I'm surprised LeBron has never snapped on somebody. And one of those kind of guys, that was going to kind of keep his cool. And when I saw him lose it against Mo, I got to say, I was surprised. I was shocked.
You can see the genuine remorse during his apology.
Yeah.
And he knows, I lost control.
He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
You know what? You talking about Shaq getting frustrated. You know when he used to get really super frustrated? Hack-a-Shaq.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Man, you want to talk about you could just see it, man. Steam coming out of his ears.
Well, that was his own fault. He didn't hit free throws. So you kind of put yourself in that position that
you're being exposed for your weakness.
Right.
And that's what it is.
And that's where you're supposed to then nail the shots. So then people will like, okay, well, that strategy doesn't work anymore. Pretty interesting night last night. You had a 5 overtime game in hockey as Tampa beats Columbus 3-2. You had the MLS final in the MLS's back tournament. Portland beats Orlando 2-1. I don't know how many of you all watched that. And I watched also the Marlins last night. I had multiple TVs going, man. It was a lot of fun, and my head was spinning. But Toronto beat the Marlins in 10 innings, 5-4. Nice bomb, by the way, by Cervelli in the 9th inning to make it a 4-4 game. Tonight, it's Yamamoto taking on Nate Pearson. It'll be 6:37 in baseball tonight for Game 2 between the Toronto Blue Jays and your Miami Marlins in Buffalo, New York. I'm not a Yamamoto believer. So far, I have to say I've been unimpressed with Yamamoto. Maybe with time he gets better, but I can't say I've been impressed with the way he has performed. Got to be honest, man. Bone Z says, Big O, just coming in. What do you think about the Minka crap? I read that story. It was a nothing story, dude. It's just him spewing hot air about not being happy that Flores put him, hitting with guards and playing strong safety and all of that. Minka lost. He lost my respect, the way he handled things down here and the way he changed and waffled, where he didn't want to be moved around. And then his second half in Pittsburgh was not as productive as his first half. His numbers went down drastically, actually. And he, at the end of the season, said, well, it might be better for me to move around so the defense doesn't know where I'm at. And so the thing I've learned, look, this is a guy that has his mom, complaining for him. I got to tell you something. I have no respect for the kid. He is a good player, okay, no doubt about it. But, he's kind of a diva now, is the way I look at it. And in the end, here's what I would tell a lot of you out there about Minka. Let it go. Let it go already. You know what I mean? I think I got a lot of this on Twitter, and I'm like, you got to let it go, man. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler now. He's not a Miami Dolphin. Let him run his mouth. He's always got to say something about whatever. Go ahead, knock yourself out. I am super happy with the direction of the Dolphins, okay? Without Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm happy with the coach. I'm happy with the front office. I'm happy that we got a lot of talent on the team. They got a bunch of picks for next year's draft. The Dolphins are headed to much better places right now. I'm worried more about, can we have a season, which I don't think. I'm hoping I'm wrong here, but I would love to see the Dolphins finish a season. Why? For development purposes. Not because I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? If I'm a Kansas City fan, I'm really nervous about this season because my team has a shot to win it again, and if there's no season, obviously they can't win it. So if I'm a contending team, I have a different frustration. For the Dolphins, my frustration is I want the season to play out because you've got 5 linemen you got to figure out. You know what I mean? You got young guys in the secondary that need to grow. You got linebackers that need to grow. We got a second-year receiver in Preston Williams that I want to see him come back strong and show me what he did last year. Devontae Parker finally broke through. I'd like to see him continue. Gesicki showed me a lot. There's a lot of things that I look forward to with the Dolphins. Why am I going to look back for Minkah? You know what I'm saying? So it gets to a point now that, am I going to now follow everything that he's talking about and say, look, man, you didn't want to be a Dolphin? Screw you, bro. Get lost.
What was his nickname you labeled him?
I forgot. What nickname did I give him?
Come on, man.
I forgot now.
Minkah bitch.
Oh, Minkah bitch. That's right. That's right. We did call him Minkah bitch. So, just let it go already. That's what I would tell you about Minkah. Let it go. We're in a much better place now.
Forget about Minkah bitch.
Yeah, and they will be a better team down the line when it's all said and done. They'll be better than the Steelers down the line. And then Minkah will end up having all the regrets in the world because he didn't stick it through. That's all. That's the way I'm going to look at it, man. I am not going to, worry about that guy. Julius 305 chimes in with a little super chat. Thank you, my brother. Julius, he says, longtime listener, first-time caller. Would NBA start early if NFL shuts down? What fills the void? I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the NFL, the NFL would continue on the same pace they're on. The only thing that's going to change is Saturdays. That if there is no college football and the other leagues eventually shut down, which they will, they can say all they want now. In a couple weeks, they will change their mind as COVID is running rampant throughout our country, right? Well, by the way, what's the latest numbers right now at 2:00 in Florida? Since we lost, what was it, 200 and how much yesterday? 276. We lost yesterday in our state alone, 1,500 throughout the country. Here, let me give you right now what's going on nationwide. And it's only 2:00, obviously. We already have 672 deaths. Already, nationwide, 672. Florida, by the way, we're over 200 again, 207, 8,109 cases. It's just like, you just keep believing DeSantis. You go ahead. But
First at worst.
Yeah. So, I think the NFL, the only thing they'll do is take over Saturdays once college football is canceled. Now, the NBA, I don't think will do anything except they're on their own schedule. Remember, they've got to finish the season, okay? And this is going to run into their regular season by the time they're done. And then they're going to start in late December. So nothing's going to change. They're going to have like a month and a half off or something like that. And then they're going to try to restart the season in late December, right before Christmas, and then take off. We'll see. We'll see. You know what will be interesting? This is the part that Julius, where it gets like, okay, what are you going to do now? What if we're still in a major pandemic problem in December? I think by the time of late October rolls around to early November, if the pandemic is still as bad as it is right now, I could see them going back to the negotiation table and trying to get the bubble back again. Because there's no way you'll survive an NBA season if people are going home and practices and travel, and there's no way. No way. No way. So that's where I would tell you, Julius, that's where things would change a little bit. You know? What can I tell you, my man? All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the program. I appreciate all of you out there. First of all, let's give some love to our super chatters here today. Thank you. Weapons X United, Kenneth Cleveland, Julius 305, Ray Grulong. Thank you as always. You guys are absolutely amazing. Always supporting us every single day.
I know that, dude. Where'd you get this?
Super chats.
Oh, gnarly. Awesome. Totally awesome.
We thank all of you super chatters, everybody that's on the regular chat board there, giving us love as always and sending in questions and comments, all kinds of good stuff. We appreciate all of you that download the show at any time, day or night, middle of the night, whatever it is, wherever you're at in the world. Thank you all for supporting the show like you do every single day. We thank the amazing people out here at BSS West Pines for being an awesome sponsor with us. And, of course, great people out here. So come on out to 12397 Pembroke Road for all of your CBD needs. All right? Come on out here. And remember, anything you need, E-Juice, right? They've got them out here. They got the 2-packs. They've got the disposables. They've got all kinds of rolling papers. They've got all kinds of different goodies out here, hookahs. They've got the water pipes. They've got a collection of pipes like you've never seen before. Okay, I'm telling you, they're all out here. I need Trump so you can say it's just fantastic.
They have glow-in-the-dark trays
it's
that'll.
It's the greatest place on earth. You know that kind of stuff.
They have glow-in-the-dark trays that'll light up Aaron Rodgers in bed.
That's right. Aaron Rodgers likes it dark, but he can actually have a light-up rolling tray. That'll help him. Maybe he might have. You know, if he just had a glow-in-the-dark tray in the room, he might still be with Olivia Munn. You never know. Anyway, enough of the Munn. We are out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be at Toyota of Hollywood. Y'all be good out there.
Regular time, 11 o'clock back.
Yes, we're back to 11 o'clock tomorrow. Y'all be good. Be safe out there. Much love. Wear your mask.
We'll see you tomorrow.